In this video, we are talking about question number 4 on the Arizona Merit Test, and you need to have this in front of you because I'm going to move this paper, all right? But it's saying that we have quadrilateral RSTU, which has vertices at 1, 3, 4, 1, 1, -3, and -2, -1. Which statement about quadrilateral RSTU is true? So look through the question answers real quick first. Since the diagonals of quadrilateral RSTU are not congruent, it is not a rectangle. Okay, diagonals, they're talking about the diagonals. Since the adjacent sides of quadrilateral RSTU have equal slopes, it is not a rectangle. Okay, now they're talking about slopes. Since the diagonals, now they're talking about diagonals, of quadrilateral RSTU are congruent. Here it was are not congruent, here it is congruent. It is a rectangle. And then since the adjacent sides of quadrilateral RSTU have slopes that are negative reciprocals, it is a rectangle. They're the 4 choices that you have. All right, so let me show you something real quick. So we know that we have to talk about slope and we have to talk about diagonals. You know, before I even start this, I want to show you a little diagram of a rectangle. Here we have a rectangle, okay? It's 2 by 3, right? Now, the slopes are all the same. Well, these 2 slopes are the same, which is 0. These 2 slopes, you know, again, are the same, but they're undefined. But it just means that, you know, it's a 0 type of slope. There's no slope. All right, but what we also know is the diagonals here and the diagonal here are exactly the same. They're the same size. Now, you could figure that out using the distance formula. But why would you? This is 2 by 3. That means that diagonal is right there. And this is 2 by 3. Well, the diagonals have to be the same, Pythagorean theorem. So for a rectangle, if it's a rectangle, the diagonals have to be the same. So right now, we can look at letter C, and it says, since the diagonals of quadrilateral RSTU are congruent, it is a rectangle. Well, we have to see if this is we have to now see if these are the same. So let's do one thing real quick. Let's find out the slope of this line. Well, to find the slope of this line, I go up 1, 2, 3, 4. I go up 4, 1, 2, 3, and over 3. So the slope of that line is 4 over 3. Now the slope of this line, 1, 2, 3, 4 over 3. Same thing, 4/3. The slope of this line, watch this, I'm going down. Down 1, 2, down 2, and over 1, 2, 3. Down 2 over 3, so it's going to be a -2/3. Here, this slope, I'm going to start there. I'm going down 2 over 3, another -2/3. All right, so one of the questions says, since the adjacent sides, now here are 2 adjacent sides, okay, right here. Since they have equal slopes, well, they're not equal, so you don't even have to read the rest of the question. So for letter B, you don't have to read it at all. It can't be B. How about let's go down to D. Since the adjacent sides of RSTU have slopes that are negative reciprocals, is that a negative reciprocal? Nope. If I have 4/3, my negative reciprocal would be -3 over 4. Okay? So it can't be any one of those 3. It has to be A, but I'm going to tell you something, guys. Don't ever choose a question on that basis. Always try to figure it out. So number 1 says, since the diagonals of equilateral RSTU are not congruent. All right, so let's figure out what the diagonals are. All right, well, this diagonal is easy enough. All I have to do is count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's 6. Whoops. All right, this diagonal, however, I have to use the distance formula real quick. So watch, if I say, and what are my 2 points? -2, -1, and 4, 1. They're the 2 points that I'm going to be working with, all right? All right, so I'm going to say 4 take away -2 squared plus 1 take away 1, one take away -1 squared. All right, this really means 4 plus 2 squared. So 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 squared is 36. Plus 1 plus 1, because that's really a big plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So this is radical 40, which is, now all I have to know is it's not 6. I mean, this is going to be 6 point something, but it's not 6. So the diagonals are not the same. They are not the same. Therefore, this is not a rectangle. So it says for letter A, since the diagonals of quadrilateral RSTU are not congruent, it is not a rectangle. Because in order for them to be congruent, in order for it to be a rectangle, those diagonals have to be exactly the same.